or Pelicans or Tulane or LSU. He's got the academic side. I'm proud of him.
Thank you.
He's got LSU Manship School of Mass Communications with the LSU white letters and the purple shirt. He's representing the Tigers, but no sports teams. Amazing, Mario Brothers. We need more of that.
Yes. Shout out to the Manship School, man.
Yep.
Keep investing in the mass comm program. It's a good one.
Yeah, I was a major in that for about 3 semesters.
There you go.
Yeah, I went history, poli-sci, journalism, speech. Well, I was all over the place.
Yeah, that's the communications docket right there.
Yeah.
A lot of people that do journalism also dabble in that.
That's the liberal arts side of the university for me. Like science, math, that kind of stuff scared the crap out of me.
Yeah, I hear you. Still does.
Anyway, good job, Mario Brothers. Yeah, LSU, as good at physics as football. That should be the goal at LSU. That's the shirt I'm going to make and start wearing. LSU, our goal, as good in physics as football. Wouldn't that be nice? Wouldn't that be nice? Is that too much to ask? Seriously. I love LSU athletics. Probably in the day when I was 18 and went to LSU, a lot of it was because of LSU sports. Loved LSU athletics, went to all the games. We'd go to golf and tennis and stuff. We were rabid fans. It was insane. But I'd love LSU academics to be like Vanderbilt or Virginia or North Carolina, Georgia Tech. Why not? Why can't it be? If athletics are so great, we focus on LSU athletics. Why can't LSU academics be as good as LSU athletics? I don't want to see any drop off on the world-class, first-class, top-notch level of LSU athletics. Incredible facilities. One could argue Tiger Stadium is the greatest outdoor sports venue in the world. Saturday night at Tiger Stadium, like an LSU Alabama game that has SEC national title implications, 102,000 in that stadium. That's a tough environment to beat anywhere in the world in sports. The Pete Maravich Assembly Center, it's an old building, but it's got the best name of any building in basketball. The Pete Maravich Assembly Center, the PMAC. No, first-class facilities mostly, world-class athletes, incredible coaches, every single dollar necessary to make LSU athletics the best they can be, those dollars are spent. There's a thing called TAF, Tiger Athletic Foundation, strictly around to build up LSU athletics. It's almost like a pro program. There might be some colleges, universities that have facilities and teams as good as LSU, but none better. LSU athletics, they're the Harvard of college sports. Why can't we have academics have the same goals, same aspirations? All it would do is lift LSU as a university to a much higher level and increase the economy in the state of Louisiana. There's no downside to increasing your brain size, and there's no downside to LSU academics being fantastic. Not mediocre at best. They're okay. They're all right. My kid got a pretty good education. My kid's doing pretty well. Went to LSU. I went to LSU. I'm doing pretty good. Instead of that, I went to LSU and the academics are excellent. Just like athletics, excellence across the board. Let that be the goal. Corey Johnson with you on a wide open Wednesday. There you go, Mario. There's your ticket right there. There's your ticket. I just meant for a clip.
Yeah, I got you.
Yeah. Come on. That's just a no-brainer. I love LSU athletics. I just want LSU academics to be as good. Tulane's got the exact opposite problem. The Green Wave have a great emphasis on academics. Top 50 university in the country. But sort of a lackluster effort towards athletics. They're not even Title IX compliant in Uptown at Tulane. No, and the athletic department doesn't really do a good job of marketing for football. And it's a top 25 program, literally. Tulane right now, the Wave controls its own playoff destiny. They're in full control. Win out, and you're in the 12-team playoff. Right now, if the 12-team playoff were to begin today, Tulane would be at Texas Tech. How cool is that? Unbelievable. That'd be a great ball game, too. Corey Johnson with you on a wide open Wednesday edition of the program. Not even part of the show just now. I just saw Mario's t-shirt and I was digging it. I got to get me one of those, Mario. I got the little quarter zip LSU med with the little, medical symbol.
Yeah.
I might wear that one tomorrow.
I got you. I get gear sometimes. I might get a little something for you next time.
All right, cool, man.
You were KLSU at 1.2, right? You said.
Well, I mean, not really.
Not real. Oh, I remember.
I told you the story how I got in radio.
Yeah, yeah.
The guy I was, I wanted to. I didn't want to get into sports talk radio. I didn't even know what the hell it was. I'm at Channel 2 working in Baton Rouge after I graduated. This is 1991. And Bruce Weber, the third string guy, was, bent over his desk with one of those 9-volt transistor radios with the little leatherette pouch. And he's listening. And I'm like, Jordy Holtberg was the number 2 guy. I go, Jordy, what is Bruce doing? He goes, yeah, he's listening to sports talk radio or something. Like, I got like on AM radio. He goes, yeah. I go, who the hell listens to AM radio? I'm just like laughing about it. And then like 3 months later, I started calling that station. And then like it was the advent of sports talk radio. Baton Rouge had a station. No one else in Louisiana did. New Orleans didn't have a sports talk station. WIBR, 1300 AM, doesn't even exist anymore. The transmitter site was where the studio was in a cow pasture in Port Allen on the west bank of Baton Rouge. Not kidding. Anyway, I was working at Channel 2 in the Channel 2 van. Bob Broadhead, the old LSU athletic director, was doing an afternoon show. They go to like a 1:40 in the afternoon break. And when they come back, it's satellite programming, not Bob Broadhead. I'm like, what the hell? So I call in the station. It's like, yeah, is Bob still in the air? Like, Bob's not only not on the air anymore, we fired him. That's what they tell me, like a caller. I'm like, wow, really? Thank you. And hung up. I was like, can we go over there? So I found out where the station was. We crossed the Mississippi River Bridge. I drive over to, WIBR. Doug Dyer is the station manager. I remember this. Nice guy. I walk in there. I remember him looking at me and looking over my shoulder and seeing the Channel 2 van. And I went, man, I got a good chance now. That's just like a resume right there. So I'm like, hey, how you doing? I understand you might have an opening. Bob Broadhead's gone. They're like, how do you know that? I was just like, Birdie told me. You told me when I called. And then he's like, do you have any radio experience? And I was about to say, no, not really. And he goes, have you ever been on the radio? And I said, oh, yeah, yes. And he goes, where are you on radio? I said, KLSU. And he goes, wow, KLSU. I worked at KLSU. And then that just jumped me way ahead. The van, the WBRZ Channel 2 TV van out front through the window, and that I'd been on KLSU put me over the top. Now, I'd never worked at KLSU. You just asked me that, and you realized the answer, Mario Brothers. No, he asked me if I had ever been on radio, and I said, yes. I would call up KLSU. Hey, can you play, Led Zeppelin, Stairway to Heaven, whatever. So I was, and we'd hang up and then listen, and you'd hear me on the radio saying that. Now, my friends would giggle and laugh. That's, we're children, basically, college students. Mm-hmm. Wasn't even a prank call.
Yeah, no.
Just a legitimate call. But I was physically, my voice was on the radio at KLSU. So when he asked me, have you ever been on the radio? I said, yeah, at KLSU. But he was asking, have I ever done radio? He didn't ask it that way. Have you ever been on? So I did not lie at all. I was 110% truthful, but a little deceitful, I guess.
Yeah, technically you were telling the truth.
Technically I was telling the truth. I wasn't lying.
Yeah, so KLSU technically did help you.
Yes.
There you go.
And the van out front. Anyway, that was like a Friday. I started Monday at 10 a.m. And then I drove out of there. Thank you. See you Monday. And was like, oh my God, I got to do this now. And I was like, I can't do this. Never done radio in my life. So I called up Todd Black, he's like a coach and has done radio, does high school sports and stuff.
Yeah.
He was a all-state athlete, like football, golf, played on the LSU golf team, just a superior athlete. Would scrimmage the LSU basketball team when they needed athletic players to scrimmage teams, scrimmage the women's team, all that stuff. He was working at Channel 2 with me. I never knew him at LSU. He was like a bartender at Sports Illustrated. I would be at Fred's right next door. He's 10 feet away from me 1,000 nights at LSU and never met him. Anyway, I met him like 3 weeks early when I started working at Channel 2. He was there about a month or two before me. It's like, Todd, I got the gig 10 a.m. to noon at WIBR, 1300 a.m. sports talk show. Do you want to do it with me? Because we were both learning to be sports reporters, sports anchors. That was the goal. And then once I got into radio, I was like, I like this kind of freelance, ad lib, opinion oriented. I still like the journalism part, but man, I like this better than being anchored down, pun intended, as an anchor doing sports. And sports talk radio took off at that time. I got into it right at its infancy and rode that way for about 13, 14 years before I got into just what I'm doing now. But Mario Brothers, 7 minutes later, to answer your question, no, I never worked at KLSU.
Got you.
All right. That was painful, wasn't it? Could have just said, no, I never worked at KLSU.
Enjoyed the story.
So it's like my buddy Kevin, dude, you want to go get a po' boy? I was downtown yesterday. Wow, I just need a yes or no to that one. Corey Johnson with you on a wide open Wednesday, telling stories. Headlines up next, including the consent decree for the NOPD. Bye-bye.
Scott Craig of Katie's Restaurant.
All of my ingredients are fresh. Nothing comes out of a can here. Nothing. All of our seafood is Louisiana. All of our vegetables are Louisiana vegetables. It's a neighborhood restaurant.
Katie's in Mid-City.
Here at the NOLA Coalition, we love our kids and we love our city. The people of New Orleans are standing together for a better future. By harnessing our collective resources, the NOLA Coalition will create a safer, more prosperous city for all residents. Your support is needed to help reduce violence, invest in our children, and drive generational change. Join now at nolacoalition.info.
Outdoor dining, Middle Eastern cuisine, under the oak trees, Lebanon's Cafe, some of the city's finest lamb chops and shish kebab, Carrollton at Jeanette by the streetcar barn, Lebanon's Cafe.
Dave Miette Insurance Agency. Auto, home, flood, business. 504-556-0809. Dave Miette, insagency.com. Dave Miette Insurance Agency. Auto, home, flood, business. 504-556-0809. Dave Miette, insagency.com.
Word is, one of the best restaurants in New Orleans isn't even in New Orleans. Gallagher's 527 in Mandeville. Cross the lake and taste what you're missing. Tuesday through Saturday. Gallagher's 527 in Mandeville.
Young's Dry Cleaning has free pickup and delivery. That's right. Young's Dry Cleaning has absolutely free pickup and delivery. Home or office, East Bank or West Bank. Call Young's at 288-8381 or online at youngsdrycleaning.com. Isn't it time to have that dream backyard you've always wanted? LGD Lawn and Landscapes can make it happen with artificial turf installation. Synthetic turf gives you the look and feel of natural grass. You get a beautiful lawn without the ongoing expenses of maintenance and no puddles, meaning you won't be tracking grass or dirt into the house. Let LGD come to your house and give you a free estimate. NOLALGD.com. Trey Yen in Mandeville, a New Orleans tradition for over 40 years, serving the finest Louisiana-inspired Chinese cuisine. Open Tuesday through Sunday. Trey Yen.
Greater New Orleans, a destination for learning. With 13 colleges and universities and a booming job market, Greater New Orleans is the ultimate destination for your higher education. Your path to the future begins in Greater New Orleans. Find out more at studynola.com.
Francesca Deli and Pizzeria has over 15 specialty sandwiches, a big 10-ounce burger, and some of the best pizza in New Orleans. Francesca Deli and Pizzeria on Harrison Avenue in Lakeview between Canal Boulevard and West End. Hey, Marigny, Bywater, Treme, French Quarter, CBD, Warehouse District, Garden District, Irish Channel. It's Corey Johnson on the neutral ground, where New Orleans is heard.
Yeah, you're right. Wide open Wednesday edition of the program where New Orleans is heard. You're the show producer. Anything you want to discuss, you want to know what's great about this program? You can disagree with me wholeheartedly, and I'm fine with that. We don't screen calls. You call up, what's your name, where you calling from? Hang on, Jimmy, you're up next in Gentilly. That's it. Agree, disagree, question, comment. We welcome all comers. And besides not screening calls, we don't cut off callers. I mean, listen to local and national sports talk shows. And I know the local shows are painful to listen to. We live in a talk radio desert in New Orleans. You know, the talk shows will bring on a guest, any kind of, difference of opinion. You'll get well, Bill, let me tell you this. And then you hear the host for like 45 seconds going off. And then they go, and that's what I'm thinking. Hey, Bill, thanks for the call. Bill's been on hold and cut off 45 seconds ago, a minute ago. The guy's doing this on radio, running his hand across his neck. Like, get that guy out of here. Don't need someone that disagrees. And then they, obviously can't argue or prove their point. Their point is very weak. No, we never cut off people, especially those that disagree. 766-9480 is how you dial us up. You're checking us out on radio, TV, YouTube, on X. 766-9480. 766-9480. 4 o'clock hour this afternoon brought to you by Lebanon's Cafe. They're open 7 days a week, 11 a.m. straight through till 9:30. Yeah, late night hours. Rolling there 8:45, 9:15 on a Tuesday night, Thursday night, Saturday night. They'll take care of you with shish kebab, lamb chops, all your favorite Middle Eastern sides. It's fantastic. Authentic, fresh, large portions, priced right. Tough to beat Lebanon's Cafe, Carrollton at Jeanette, right by the streetcar barn. Good place for dinner tonight. Open till 9:30. Lebanon's Cafe. 4 o'clock hour brought to you by Lebanon's Cafe. Wide open Wednesday. The 12-year federal oversight of the NOPD is officially over. A federal judge ends the NOPD's consent decree, taking the handcuffs off. Reactive policing, done. More proactive policing from the NOPD. That's fantastic news. Here's some not so fantastic news. I don't know if you're an American and you care about the Constitution and the rights of people in America. And that applies to folks that aren't citizens. Folks that aren't citizens. Like someone from France on a vacation. They don't just get detained or arrested unconstitutionally. They would have to actually commit a crime, or people will have pointed them out, or the police can be incorrect, but they had facts and information that they thought were right, leading to that detainment or arrest. But boy, if you're a Latino, it's like the police chief in Kenner the other day. I mean, it's comical. And I'm amazed no one's calling this joker out on this comment. The Kenner police chief is Keith Conley. He said his department recently worked with ICE for a raid operation at the city's boat launch. I mean, they have a major Latino festival that they canceled this year because the Latinos in Kenner are like, you know what? And they're citizens. They're Americans, just like you and me. They're like, man, we don't need this hassle. Because my name's Gonzalez, I'm going to get a bunch of ICE people raiding it. Yeah, I'm no different than Frank Smith, Tyrone Jackson. My name might be Jorge Gonzalez, but I am as American, as much of a citizen as anyone else. But no, we're not going to have this festival because we could have that situation like in Charlotte where ICE was arresting U.S. citizens and illegally detaining them. And they're going to sue the federal government and they're going to win. Chicago, 600 arrests. 16 had criminal records. The other 584 did not. Like your grandmother, your mom. Just unbelievable. No, everyone wants criminals gone. But when you're just going after the Latino population because they're Latino, and hey, we're going to get some wrong. That doesn't work in America. We don't get some wrong. We don't get the majority wrong. Like when ICE went into Evangeline Downs and arrested 82. Two had criminal records. The other 80 were back at work in like the next day or two, but were detained and arrested. No, some of them are going to sue and they're going to win. This is the Kenner Police Chief, Keith Conley, talking about working with ICE. We brought them in because we knew there was going to be a large amount of Hispanics out there. We've had ICE assist us with some gang activity or some gang affiliations that come through the city. What a crock of you know what. And what a racist comment. Yeah, we brought in ICE because we knew there'd be a bunch of Jews there. We brought in ICE because there was going to be a bunch of Italians. We brought in ICE because it's going to be a lot of white people. We brought in ICE because it was going to be a bunch of blacks. I don't know. Chief Conley might use colored in that reference. They had a large number of Negroes. Let's call ICE. We brought them in because we knew there was going to be a large amount of Hispanics. I mean, that should be enough to get this guy ousted as police chief. That comment alone. In Kenner, that has tens of thousands of U.S. citizen legal Latinos living there, Latin Americans, Americans of Latino descent, tens of thousands living in Kenner. I mean, it's a huge percentage of Kenner's population is Latino, a huge percentage. I wouldn't doubt if it's like 20%, 25%. And the police chief in Kenner says, we brought in ICE because we knew there was going to be a large amount of Hispanics out there at a raid at the boat launch. No, just racist as hell. But, if it were black, if he said black, it'd be a nightmare. And if he said white, I don't know, I'm white. I don't know what it would even mean. I would probably laugh it off. I guess he'd have to say cracker or something. And then I wouldn't even be offended, but I'd just be like, it's wrong? ? I don't even feel offense. I'm a white male heterosexual and skids are greased for me. Easy for me. But man, I don't, this Latino crap's just a joke. It's a joke. I was talking to a Latino friend. He's like, yeah, my uncle didn't want to go down to Miami. Loves Miami, but he's like, Latinos get harassed down there. So Miami's out. I mean, could you imagine? Dude, we go all over. San Diego, LA. We don't go to San Francisco. White people are hassled in San Francisco. We don't go there. I mean, guy can't go to Miami because he's scared he's going to get harassed. And he's not making excuses. He's talking the truth. I'm just going to ask you a basic question. Seriously. I mean, that's what's great about this program. Common sense. We like facts. So much emotion around this. It's political nonsense. Creating a problem, getting people believing it, saying that problem is why you have a problem, why your life is hard or it sucks or you lost your job. It's because of these people. Do you think local citizens or illegals make up the majority of violent crime in Metro New Orleans? Do you think it's local citizens or illegals that make up the clear majority? Like the clear majority, 90+% of all violent crime in Metro New Orleans. Do you think it's illegals or U.S. citizens? ICE, Border Patrol, they have a goal. I mean, this is unbelievable. A goal. 5,000 arrests of illegal, violent criminals in New Orleans and southern Mississippi. 5,000. I mean, we got like 50,000 illegals in Louisiana. So you're telling me 10% of them are violent criminals? And how do you come up with this arbitrary number of 5,000? 250 federal agents are coming into New Orleans. 5,000 illegal violent criminals don't exist. It's called Operation Swamp Sweep. All these just goofy nicknames like it's some military operation. How about getting you want to hear real numbers? These are real numbers. New Orleans has a violent crime problem. You want to know how many people are responsible for that? According to the FBI, about 300 to 400 people. There are 300 to 400 violent criminals in the city of New Orleans. 300 or 400, not 3,000 or 4,000, 300 or 400. It's like an LSU game. You have 102,000 in the stadium. You probably got about 50 or 75 bozos in there. Drunk, throwing, drinks on people, getting into fights, like maybe 50 out of 102,000. It's like 1% of 1% of 1%. It's nothing. But people would be like, boy, those LSU fans are obnoxious. They were throwing bottles at the bus of the team leaving. Yeah, those 50 drunk idiots were, So New Orleans, We have a violent crime problem. It's not thousands or 10,000 violent criminals. It's 300 to 400, according to the FBI. I've seen the binder, not recently, but about a decade ago. And the numbers haven't changed. It reminded me of that doubloon binder I had when I used to collect doubloons. You had like 5 across the top and like maybe 7 or 8 down the side. And in these little slots, you put your doubloon. In these little slots, it was a photo of a criminal, a violent criminal in New Orleans, page after page, about 300 or 400 of them. How about getting the 300 or 400 violent criminals that we know about, and they're all U.S. citizens, they're all legally here. How about getting them off the street? How about bringing in 250 federal agents, and all they have to do is arrest one violent criminal, and crime would dramatically decrease in New Orleans. We know who the violent criminals are. Again, it's like 300 or 400. But we're going to bring in 250 federal agents to arrest 5,000 violent illegals. They don't exist. We're going to be arresting grandma and the maids that clean hotels and chefs that cook in the kitchen and laborers that dig retention ponds and build buildings. It's absolutely insane. 766-9480. I know you got an opinion on it. If you disagree, that's fantastic. Bring it. Love to hear from you. Agree? That's good too. 766-9480. 766-9480. Corey Johnson with you on a wide open Wednesday. Yeah, you're right. Mario Brothers at the controls. We'll come back to your phone calls next. 766-9480. Don't move, New Orleans. Lots more coming your way.
Ladies and gentlemen, in this Lamarck Automotive Complex is something called Quick Lane. Tires, wheel alignments, struts, servicing your transmission. We do in all makes and models. It doesn't have to have been purchased from us. It's for you. It handles your lifestyle with your budget in mind. And we want to get you in and out as quick as possible. Quick Lane, you got to come see it. You're going to love the experience. Right there at Williams Boulevard in Kenner.
Dave Miette Insurance Agency. Auto, home, flood, business. 504-556-0809. Dave Miette, INSagency.com. Dave Miette Insurance Agency. Auto, home, flood, business. 504-556-0809. Dave Miette, INSagency.com.
South Shore residents that love good food are making the short trip across the lake to Gallagher's 527 in Mandeville. North Shore folks have known about Gallagher's 527 for years. Now the South Shore has discovered this hidden gem. One of the metro area's best restaurants is less than 30 minutes away. Take the quick trip across the lake and experience Gallagher's 527 in Mandeville. As good as it gets.
For game-changing innovation, look to the Latrim family of companies located in Harahan. Intralox, a Latrim company, changed the game when they invented modular plastic conveyor belts over 40 years ago. These belts and innovative Intralox technology are transforming movement in manufacturing facilities around the world. Intralox is a dynamic global company now hiring in production, warehousing, shipping, and more. If you want to be part of our successful team, visit Latrim.com. That's LAITRAM.com.
In New Orleans, we don't eat to live. We live to eat.
More is better.
Scott Craig of Katie's.
That is our slogan. More is better at Katie's. It means more of everything. Not just more food, more smiles, more friendship, more love, more. When you do something, you have to do it right. It's all about more, and it's all more of the good things.
Get more at Katie's Restaurant in Mid-City.
Tired of cleaning your gutters? Improve the value and look of your home with Leaf Guard gutters. And you'll never have to clean your gutters again. Ever. I guarantee it. Let Audubon Gutters install Leaf Guard gutters today. You'll improve the look and value of your home. And right now is the perfect time during Audubon Gutters' 99-cent installation sale. Call 469-6494 now. Get out of that gutter and get on the phone. At Audubon Gutters.
Here at the NOLA Coalition, we love our kids and we love our city. The people of New Orleans are standing together for a better future. By harnessing our collective resources, the NOLA Coalition will create a safer, more prosperous city for all residents. Your support is needed to help reduce violence, invest in our children, and drive generational change. Join now at nolacoalition.info.
Minutes of fun.
I'm funny how? I mean, funny like I'm a clown. I amuse you.
Every weekday afternoon on Cox Channel 4 and Spectrum Channel 333 from 4 p.m. to 5:30.
Lots of topics on this wide open Wednesday. The phone number to participate, 766-9480. 766-9480. We head to the best bank, Gretna. Jackie joins us. What you say, Jackie?
I said, good evening. Thanks for taking my call. But I want you to know I'm looking and listening to the stories and the impact that this ICE situation has. A lot of the people the Latinos who have children in the schools, I think about the separation. I have children. I would not want to be separated from my children. Not only that, thank God that this year a disaster did not hit New Orleans, because let me tell you, the Latinos and the Mexicans, I see these people all over everywhere. These people are hardworking. They're honest. They come to work. No, they do not take 50 breaks, a smoke break, a lunch break, or this or that or the other.
Exactly.
They work.
No. You want to know what happens at lunch, Jackie? One of the workers' girlfriends or wives show up in a van because she works, and she prepares a bunch of meals that Latinos like, a bunch of Spanish food. And she comes at lunch, and she serves everybody lunch, and they pay $5-10 for that lunch to go. So, I mean, and they eat in 15 minutes and they're right back to work. You're exactly right. They're tenacious, like the Vietnamese community. You want to know black and white folks in New Orleans get outworked, generally speaking. Generally, Jackie, of course, black and white folks are hardworking too. But Vietnamese and Latinos, generally speaking, outwork black and white New Orleanians.
Right. I've seen, I needed a roof put on, and these people came. I was just amazed. They came with a microwave. They never left the premises. They microwaved their food. They had their lunchtime. And what was so amazing about it, told me, we'll be at your house at the 6 o'clock in the morning. The 6 o'clock in the morning, I heard the nails and the hammers.
Yeah. It's 7:01. Whenever it's legal, the nail hits the hammer. It's 7:01. You're right. Bringing a microwave. That's unbelievable.
Okay. And I'm just upset that they're putting these people through too much. It's too much.
Well, here's the deal, Jackie. Here's the deal. Let's say a storm did hit, Katrina. Would ICE still be coming down here and having a raid of Latinos? Would the Kenner police chief get away with that kind of comment? We knew there'd be a bunch of Latinos down there. Could you imagine if that was replaced by black or Italian or Jew? That would be unbelievable. But Latino, it's okay.
It would. But, I mean, we have to all remember, God said that we're all one.
Yep.
He said that we're all one. And then Mays come right back, and what they sang the song, we are one. No matter what it is, we are one.
You're right.
We're one.
Yep.
So those are my comments for the day. No, I am not happy. And the last portion is this coming weekend. The Bayou Classic is here.
Nice. Saturday in the Dome. Nice, Jackie. That's a nice little economic impact. And I mean, they've been doing that thing since 1975 in the Dome, and I think it started a few years earlier. I want to say the Bayou Classic was at Tulane Stadium, maybe started in like 72. Mario's, look that up for you. I think one of my best interviews ever was Eddie Robinson live on the radio, having the honor of interviewing Eddie Robinson, the legendary coach.
So, I mean, now what are we going to change the scope? Every time something comes up, we're going to pick out a particular race of people to pick on and say, well, bring in ICE because you're here or you're not here. We just need to learn how to love and get along.
Yeah, I don't know if that wins elections. Having someone as the enemy to point the finger at, that's how you win elections, sadly.
Yes. But I enjoyed my conversation.
Yeah, thanks for checking out the program and calling, Jackie.
Yes.
Yeah, you're right. That's Jackie and Gretna calling us up. Mario Brothers, a.k.a. Latin X. our in-house sports expert. What's going on with the Bayou Classic, Mario?
First one was in 1974. Grambling won 21-0
at Tulane Stadium.
Yes.
And then the next year it went into the Dome.
Yeah.
Since 75.
Since 75. That's
yeah,
right.
nice. No, Bayou Classic. I mean, Eddie Robinson every year. It's unbelievable.
I'll be honest with you. That's one like sporting event in the city, maybe the only one that I have not experienced, and
It's
really
worth
wanted to.
experiencing, definitely. I went to a few of them in the early days, and Battle of the Bands. It was amazing. Like about 10 years after I went, like I remember NBC picking up the game.
Yeah.
And the Battle of the Bands, it was like a 4.5-hour TV experience, not like the regular 3-hour, 3:15.
In terms of quality of the marching band, that's the best halftime show in college football.
Oh, are you kidding me?
At any game.
Yeah, it
in
is.
any location.
I think New Orleans blew it last Super Bowl. Not New Orleans so much, the NFL.
Yeah, 100%.
New Orleans is the music city of the world. And something I proposed that was just ignored, just barking into the wind, was have all the great New Orleans musicians. I mean, we have families literally of musicians, from the Neville brothers to the Baptiste to the Andrews, all these brass bands, all these bands, Master P, Lil Wayne, everybody, all these, Harry Connick Jr., all up on the stage, all with a little one-line solo to this song, some great New Orleans tune. Everybody playing, everybody recognized, and then they'd be in the middle of the field. You get Hollywood to produce it, Super Bowl level quality, but all local New Orleans, Louisiana musicians. Then on the left side of the field, the Southern, human jukebox. And then on the right side of the field, Grambling's band. And then maybe even bring in St. Aug, the Marching 100 in the front. And you just have a kick-ass, all local Super Bowl extravaganza that can't be beat. Old school, new school. Like the new musicians that are from New Orleans, rap artists and the like, Big Frida, and then you got the traditional, and then you got the bands. I mean, you look at the old Super Bowl halftime shows, Mario Brothers, you go to YouTube, put in 1970 Super Bowl halftime show. I guarantee it's going to be Grambling or Southern.
Yeah.
That's going to be that marching band at halftime.
100%.
And those were great,
Halftime shows were better.
I
back
just
then.
think we blew it big time.
No, 100%.
We blew it.
Hopefully in future Super Bowls.
No, I mean, that was like a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to have the halftime show, all Louisiana, since that's what we do best. It would have been like if the Super Bowl halftime show was about food and they brought in, barbecue from Texas. It would be like, dude, the Super Bowl's in New Orleans.
Yeah.
What are y'all thinking? Food is your halftime gimmick, and you didn't do local New Orleans food. It wasn't gumbo and jambalaya and speckled trout, and come on. But, they dropped the ball on that. Could have had those great marching bands from yesteryear. Jackie dialed us up at 766-9480. 766-9480. Agree, disagree, love to hear from you. And more than me, it's your voice being heard, especially if you disagree, and the rest of the listening, viewing audience, those checking us out on social, being able to hear your angle. Now, I think all this from day one, this, Latino illegal alien thing, somebody in politics came up with it. It gained traction and they ran with it. Because there's two ways to win elections. You can either be a real leader and step up and name the problems that are obvious. And if you're really good, you come up with solutions to those problems. But that's hard. That's difficult. That's the rare person. The easy way for anybody is come up with a gimmick, some lie, and try to perpetuate it and have it gain traction and have people believe the lie, and then you're in business. And then if they're believing the lie, you kind of own them because they know in their heart it's nonsense, but they're believing it anyway and repeating what you're saying. Then you take it up a level. Not only are these people a problem, they're your problem. The reason you don't have a job, they took your job away. They did. They're the criminal. So then you're foaming at the mouth. You're proactively voting, and it doesn't do anything for your pocketbook. It doesn't make you safer because it wasn't a real crime problem to begin with. It doesn't create jobs. It doesn't put your kids into a better school education-wise. It doesn't fix infrastructure. The opposite. It takes away from fixing infrastructure because a lot of these migrant workers, illegals, build infrastructure in the city, roads, bridges, and the like. No, it's a joke. It's politics in America at its worst. And a lot of people believe it because they want to believe it. That's another thing. We're emotional human beings. We believe what we want to believe. We believe what we hope is true. When our brain, logic, and facts tell us that's not true at all, this is the truth. But we want it to be this way. We hope it's going to be this way. So we hope and believe what we want instead of what we know is true. And a lot of folks, and it just happens to be on the right, I can come up with loony left examples too. It's equal and opposite. But it's a lot of folks on the right that are like, yeah, these illegals coming into America, taking our jobs. No, they're not. They're committing crimes. No, they're not. They commit less crimes than U.S. citizens. And then they don't think about the flip side if they're gone. I wish there was a way just to turn a switch like, hey, illegals, for the next 48 hours, don't show up at work. Don't show up. It's illegal. Don't work week. We're somehow going to have people raise money and you're going to get money so you can feed your family and your kids, but you're not working. Don't show up to the farm. Don't show up to the meat packing plant. Don't show up to the pork plant, the chicken farm, whatever. Dairy, fruits, vegetables. You watch what happens in America. You watch what happens. Within a few days, the economy would collapse. Conservative dairy farmers in upstate New York, you can YouTube them. They talk about if you got rid of illegals. These are Republican MAGA conservatives. They own dairy farms in upstate New York. Most of the folks that employ illegals in America are conservatives. I'm not bashing conservatives or praising liberals. It has nothing to do with that. Conservatives own meatpacking plants and farms. And you know, that's what they do. That's the jobs they gravitate towards. No, the upstate New York dairy farmers would tell you, get rid of the illegals, and two things would happen. Milk would go from like $5-6 a gallon, like $15 to $30 a gallon, and that's if you could find it on the shelf at your grocery store. Do you think they're making that up? They're dependent on these folks. Higher citizens, prices skyrocket. Illegals have been part of the fabric of America since day one. It's a joke. This is political crap. ICE coming into town, 200 federal agents, the goal to arrest 5,000. Yeah, you're going to arrest 4,900 citizens or illegals that aren't criminals and have no criminal record. You arrest 5,000, you might get 100 and 150 that are actual criminals. Like in Chicago, 600 arrested, 16 of 600 had a criminal record. The other 584 waste of time. No, this is political nonsense. I don't see how people don't see it. But I think people that are on one end or the other, loony left or wacky right, they believe what they want to believe.
The Lamarck Automotive Collision Center, it's open now. We fix cars and trucks. We do all makes and models. And it doesn't have to be a Ford or a Lincoln. It could be whatever you're driving. 32,000 square feet under roof, now open at 3101 Williams Boulevard. It's all about you, the customer, getting the most for your dollar. I would say the most perfect collision center anywhere. The Lamarck Automotive Collision Center, 3101 Williams Boulevard. Go check it out.
Word is, one of the best restaurants in New Orleans isn't even in New Orleans. Gallagher's 527 in Mandeville. Cross the lake and taste what you're missing. Tuesday through Saturday, Gallagher's 527 in Mandeville.
Why wear the same old glasses that everyone else is wearing? Stand out from the crowd. Come to Art and Eyes. Art and Eyes is not your typical eyeglasses store. It's one of the finest eyewear shops in the country, right here in New Orleans, with precision-engineered prescription lenses and gorgeous high-quality frames from the heart of Europe, Japan, and the United States. Our products are thoughtfully curated, and our staff are here to help you find exactly the right frames. Art and Eyes are magazine, as unique as you.
When USA Today ranked the 10 best must-visit New Orleans restaurants for travelers, Mid-City's own Katie's made the list. USA Today says Scott Craig is chef-owner at Katie's, a much-loved Creole Italian eatery that draws armies of regulars for lunch, brunch, and dinner. A neighborhood spot where locals congregate and New Orleans-style hospitality rules. Indeed it does. Katie's in Mid-City.
Young's Dry Cleaning, with 2 walk-up locations with personal service. Young's on Claiborne and Young's on Harrison Avenue in Lakeview. Young's Dry Cleaning. Call 288-8381 or online at youngsdrycleaning.com.
Here at the NOLA Coalition, we love our kids and we love our city. The people of New Orleans are standing together for a better future. By harnessing our collective resources, the NOLA Coalition will create a safer, more prosperous city for all residents. Your support is needed to help reduce violence, invest in our children, and drive generational change. Join now at nolacoalition.info.
Trey Yen in Mandeville, a New Orleans tradition for over 40 years, serving the finest Louisiana-inspired Chinese cuisine. Open Tuesday through Sunday. Trey Yen.
Tired of cleaning your gutters? Improve the value and look of your home with Leaf Guard gutters. And you'll never have to clean your gutters again. Ever. I guarantee it. Let Audubon Gutters install Leaf Guard gutters today. You'll improve the look and value of your home. And right now is the perfect time during Audubon Gutters 99-cent installation sale. Call 469-6494 now. Get out of that gutter and get on the phone. At Audubon Gutters.
Prepared with experience, depth, knowledge, and a history in the game. Corey Johnson.
Years later, a doctor will tell me that I have an IQ of 48.
I am the smartest man alive!
Yeah, you right. Corey Johnson back at you on a wide open Wednesday. The phone lines are open at 766-9480. 766-9480. Now, I got an email or two. Corey, you're often talking about, the extreme right. You rarely bring up the extreme left. I disagree. You're just not listening. What examples do you want of that, for the extreme loony left? Seem to not want to control immigration. Well, what's up, Mario Brothers? I see you grabbing the mic.
My nickname, for one, is kind of a dig at the loony left, DJ Latinx.
Come on, exactly.
You call me that multiple times a day.
Jeez,
every day.
every day. It's Mario Brothers, a.k.a. Latinx. Because I'm doing the opposite of being politically correct, making fun of the ridiculousness of the loony left. Thank you, Mario Brothers. A great point. Extremist views about race, the loony left. Like, we need to take Abraham Lincoln's name off of a school because his father had slaves in Kentucky. It's like, are you out of your mind? It's Abraham Lincoln, the number one mover on planet Earth, eliminating slavery. It was the mid-1800s, and a United States president was against slavery. It influenced the entire world. I mean, the Brits were ahead of us on it. Britain was like, they thought slavery was just insane. But only after they had slaves. No, remove Lincoln's name from schools or George Washington's name from schools. Mario mentioned it. Latinos. Latino means male and female, kids, everybody. Anyone of Latino descent is a Latino, male and female. Now, a male Latino is a Latino. A female Latino is a Latina. So these hyper loony leftists who overthink everything, oh my God, we don't need to consult with the Latinos, but I would imagine, because I have such superior empathy and understanding of other human beings, not myself so much, but everyone else, they must be really upset about the fact that the female Latina is referred to as a Latino as a group. Mankind, woman, man. It's all under M-A-N, woman, man. Wow. Yeah, Latino means male and female. Sorry. And coming up with the own term, Latinx, that'll solve the problem. You want to know what Latinos think of that? You dopey gringos coming up with this Latinx. We're going to embrace that stupidity. No, thanks. We're a group known as Latinos, female and male. You want to break down the group? Yeah, a male's a Latino and a female's Latina. Latinx. No, there's your loony leftist woke craziness. Think boys shouldn't compete with girls in sports. Children should have their sex reassigned. No, I think I bring up a lot of loony, woke crap. Math is racist. Queers for Palestine. Really? You'd be jailed and murdered. I mean, just clueless. Queers for Palestine. That's just insane. Looting is cool. Healthy at any weight. No. Obesity's a problem in America. Let's not embrace it and be like, people have different body shapes and it's really a problem. Yeah. No. If they're overweight and obese, it's a problem. It's unhealthy. If the men's football team played the women's football team, it would end in a tie. Equal. They're equal. I guess men can have babies. Yes, they can. Defund the police. That's another brilliant one. No. Put more money into the police. Want to be safe from criminals. It's okay to jail criminals. Crazy. No, I think I'm pretty fair. It's just alarming to me, the extreme right and the extreme left. Like it jumps out at me like off of the page. Crazy stuff. So I just happen to think the illegal alien thing is a farce. I think it's a joke. I think it's a political game. Illegals have been part of America, the fabric of this country, since day one. We need them. Otherwise, the basics we pay for across the board would go up dramatically in price. They're not taking anyone's jobs. They're not doing any jobs U.S. citizens want. And you want to, the proof of it? Their children don't follow the parents into that work. The kid's like, man, my dad worked at the meatpacking plant. He put me through high school and college. He had a 6th grade education coming out of Nicaragua. He had a 5th grade education coming out of Mexico. Put me through college. I can't wait to go work the line at the meatpacking plant. That kid's running the meatpacking plant. That Latino is going to be a doctor or a lawyer. First generation, just taking off like a rocket ship. No, they're not going to be farming or working at the meatpacking plant following the parents' lead on that. The parents are setting up for something bigger and better. And guess what? They're U.S. citizens that invest in America and us. We all win. It's crazy. No, but facts and real information doesn't really matter. The emotional side, like illegals, they took my job. They're committing crimes. They shouldn't be here. The name's illegal. Come in right. Go through the process and come here correctly. No understanding of the process, how long it takes, what they do right now for us. No, if a storm hit and the you-know-what was hitting the fan like Katrina, and the Latino population, these illegal migrant workers, saved our rear ends after Katrina, doing all the heavy lifting and the crazy work that no one locally wanted to do or no one locally was here to do. I live downtown in the middle of a block. There was 2 things on the whole city block. My house, the huge parking lot, the Duggins Law Firm on one corner, and behind me was the old Duty and Hanks car repair shop. After Katrina, about 50 illegal alien migrant workers lived in the Duty and Hanks car repair shop for months. And they fixed our city. And that was just one little corner of the world. There were hundreds of those situations. No, they came here to work, make as much money as possible, and save our rear ends. So if that was going down, do you think the feds would be sending ICE down here to get rid of the illegal? Oh, no. New Orleans needs to be rebuilt. We can use the illegals. But when it's not an emergency situation, we don't need them. No, they're part of the fabric of America. Leave the illegals alone. 250 federal agents coming to New Orleans. Arrest the 300 to 400 violent criminals that are citizens in New Orleans that we know about. And this goal of 5,000 arrests, yeah, I want a bag of money. I want first-class airline tickets to Europe. 5,000 arrests. Got 50,000 migrant illegals in Louisiana. 10% of them are violent criminals? Crazy. Waste o' time, waste o' dollar. Waste of money. That's Blue Boy saying stick around. What's that, Blue Boy? You like illegals? They're part of the fabric of America. 5 o'clock powwow next. Listen to Blue Boy.
You're on the neutral ground with Corey Johnson on TV on Cox Channel 4 and Spectrum Channel 333. Also on YouTube, on radio at NOLA Talk 93.9 FM, WSLA New Orleans.
It's 5 p.m.
Ford F-150, #1 seller in America. What about in the USA? Let's see, what about in the world? Who sells more trucks than Ford? Nobody. It's because the Lamar team is the real team. All that makes it happen is one goal. Everybody having a great experience at Lamar Ford. We became #1 for a reason, because we're good. And we need to prove it every day, every deal, all the time.
For game-changing innovation, look to the Latrim family of companies located in Harahan. Intralocks, a Latrim company, changed the game when they invented modular plastic conveyor belts over 40 years ago. These belts and innovative Intralocks technology are transforming movement in manufacturing facilities around the world. Intralocks is a dynamic global company now hiring in production, warehousing, shipping, and more. If you want to be part of our successful team, visit Latrim.com. That's LAITRAM.com.
Young's Dry Cleaning has free pickup and delivery. That's right. Young's Dry Cleaning has absolutely free pickup and delivery. Home or office, East Bank or West Bank. Call Young's at 288-8381 or online at youngsdrycleaning.com. My Sittu, that's Arabic for grandmother, used to make the best football kibbe. You can experience kibbe just like my grandmother used to make, and so many other Middle Eastern favorites on the streetcar line. Lebanon's Cafe.
Why wear the same old glasses that everyone else is wearing? Stand out from the crowd. Come to Art and Eyes. Art and Eyes is not your typical eyeglasses store. It's one of the finest eyewear shops in the country, right here in New Orleans, with precision-engineered prescription lenses and gorgeous high-quality frames from the heart of Europe, Japan, and the United States. Our products are thoughtfully curated, and our staff are here to help you find exactly the right frames. Art and Eyes on magazine, as unique as you.
Total maintenance keeps you cool. Total maintenance keeps you cool. Total maintenance keeps you cool. TF-AC.com, your cool spots. Total maintenance keeps you cool. TF-AC.com, your cool spots.
South Shore residents that love good food are making the short trip across the lake to Gallagher's 527 in Mandeville. North Shore folks have known about Gallagher's 527 for years. Now the South Shore has discovered this hidden gem. One of the metro area's best restaurants is less than 30 minutes away. Take the quick trip across the lake and experience Gallagher's 527 in Mandeville. As good as it gets.
Dave Miette Insurance Agency. Auto, home, flood, business. 504-556-0809. Dave Miette, INSagency.com. Dave Miette Insurance Agency. Auto, home, flood, business. 504-556-0809. Dave Miette, INSagency.com.
Tired of cleaning your gutters? Improve the value and look of your home with Leaf Guard gutters. And you'll never have to clean your gutters again. Ever. I guarantee it. Let Audubon Gutters install Leaf Guard gutters today. You'll improve the look and value of your home. And right now is the perfect time during Audubon Gutters' 99-cent installation sale. Call 469-6494 now. Get out of that gutter and get on the phone. At Audubon Gutters.
In New Orleans, we don't eat to live. We live to eat.
More is better.
Scott Craig of Katie's.
That is our slogan. More is better at Katie's. It means more of everything. Not just more food, more smiles, more friendship, more love, more. When you do something, you have to do it right. You know, it's all about more, and it's called more of the good things.
Get more at Katie's Restaurant in Mid-City.
You ready to do this thing known as the 5 o'clock power hour? Let's get going on a wide open Wednesday. Corey Johnson with you, a slew of topics. Phone lines are open at 766 9480. 766 9480 is how you dial us up. Hey, the 5 o'clock powwow this afternoon brought to you by Total Maintenance. Haven't been running much heat lately. Ran it for a few days last week during that little cold snap, but it's back to air conditioning every day, every night. Total Maintenance takes care of me. If you're in New Orleans or Baton Rouge and you need air conditioning or heat help, think Total Maintenance. They've been at it for 40 years, have a sterling reputation. And three things are important, vitally important when you're looking into an air conditioning or heating company. One, that they're fair and honest. I don't have to learn about air conditioning. I want someone I can unequivocally trust 110%. That's fair and honest Lucas and the boys, incapable of screwing you around. I met Lucas. We started doing commercials together. We're good friends now because he's an honest, good man that I trust. That's a blessing. That's nice. And that's a fact. Not just some radio line. Lucas is incapable of screwing you around. He's a moral, good guy. Second, they got like 30 trucks, 30 plus techs, hundreds of years of experience. They'll diagnose it the first time. They're not replacing parts trying to figure it out. The last time I had an AC problem, I'm not kidding you, Lucas diagnosed it over the phone, and he was right. And they come with a sense of urgency because fair and honest Lucas and the boys realize you're uncomfortable. Your AC's not working right. You're stressed out. If you need air conditioning help in New Orleans or Baton Rouge, think Total Maintenance. TM-AC.com. Total Maintenance. TM-AC.com. Hey, it is Wide Open Wednesday where you're the show producer. 766-9480. What happened, Mario, brother? I got a little splash of water on my lens. Should I go into an Art and Eyes commercial or just tell them to Google Art and Eyes if they need prescription eyewear or sunglasses? How about that, Mario?
I think it's a pretty good segue.
Yep.
You
I got these at Art and Eyes.
Oh, yeah.
Yep. Got about 10 pairs of glasses and sunglasses, literally, from Art and Eyes. I can't get that spot off there, Mario. Oh, boy. Yeah, that's better. 766-9480 is how you dial us up on this Wide Open Wednesday. The 12-year federal oversight of the NOPD is officially over. A federal judge ends the NOPD consent decree. The cuffs are off. Cops with one hand tied behind their back. Squad car with a flat tire. I mean, not literally, figuratively. That's over with. Proactive policing, NOPD being able to go after the criminals. And now with like Troop Noel in town, it's all good. ICE, Border Patrol coming into New Orleans. Their goal, 5,000 arrests of illegal violent criminals. Too bad 5,000 violent illegals don't exist in Metro New Orleans and South Mississippi. Nowhere near that. We got like 50,000 illegals in Louisiana, in the whole state. You think 10% of them are violent criminals? Well, if you do, you don't know any kind of facts. You're just going with a feeling. Illegal aliens commit less violent crimes and crime in general than U.S. citizens do. That's a fact, not my opinion. Not like, I like to think that. I hope that's true. That sounds good. No, it's factually true. Illegal migrant workers commit a lower crime, violent crime than U.S. citizens. It's not even close. It's not even close. Operation Swamp Sweep coming to New Orleans. Here's a couple of points I'd like to make. Well, one's a question. Do you think local citizens or illegal aliens make up the clear majority, 95% plus, of violent crime in New Orleans and the metro? Do you think it's local citizens or illegal aliens making up the violent crime, like 19 out of 20 plus? You think it's local citizens or illegals? 766-9480. You know the answer. 766-9480. I mentioned it yesterday with Liz Merle. She said, New Orleans has seen a high number of violent crimes committed by illegals. No, we haven't. We haven't seen a large number. We haven't seen a high number of violent crimes committed by illegals. We haven't seen a high number of crimes committed by illegals. We haven't seen a high number of petty crimes, stealing from the store, getting arrested for selling cigarettes on the street. We haven't seen a high number of crimes, much less violent crimes committed by illegals. It's hard to name the violent crimes committed by illegals locally. I mean, you have to do like scour it and do a lot of research. And then you're going to come up with like 1,000 violent crimes over a few years. And like 10 of them were committed by illegals, literally. It's like hard to find it. Look, any criminal, illegal citizen, I don't give a crap what they're titled as. I want criminals, especially violent criminals, off the street. I don't care if they're citizens, illegals, tourists in from Italy. I want violent criminals off the street. I think most people do. Now, here's a fact, another fact. According to the FBI, in New Orleans, there are about 300 to 400 violent criminals that make up the vast majority of violent crime in New Orleans. It's like 300 or 400. I remember about a decade ago, Jim Bernazzani showed me this binder, and it had all the criminals. They know who they are. They have arrest warrants, or they have a criminal record, a long, rap sheet. I open up the binder. It's got like 5 faces across the top, going by about 6 or 8 down. Every page, just violent criminal after violent criminal. It totaled about 300 to 400. Could you imagine if these 250 federal agents coming into town, these ICE Border Patrols agents, 250, if they each could arrest one violent criminal in New Orleans, a citizen, a legal citizen, a New Orleanian, there are about 300 to 400 of them. If these 250 federal agents could just arrest one violent criminal each in New Orleans, it would dramatically decrease crime in the city. That's what the governor, the mayor, everybody should be focusing in on. The feds want to send us 250 agents. Fantastic. Here's the FBI sheet of the 300 to 400 most violent criminals. Let's go get them. What was that Operation Clean Sweep about 6-8 months ago? They arrested 150 violent criminals in Metro New Orleans. So they're 300 or 400 in Orleans Parish proper. They're probably like another 300 or 400 in the entire Metro. They arrested 150, probably like a fifth, like 20% of all violent criminals. And we saw violent crime go down. It was a lot of factors. NOPD doing a better job. Troop NOLA in town doing a great job pursuing criminals, proactive policing. And this Operation Clean Sweep, where you took 150 of, you want to say 750, 800 violent criminals in the Metro off the street. Most of them were in Orleans Parish. So it dramatically decreased crime because we took the violent criminals off the street. No, there are about 300 to 400 violent criminals in Orleans Parish. We got 250 federal agents coming to town. Arrest one each. It would make a huge, significant dent. Going down to like Latino Festival at the boat launch in Kenner and arresting a bunch of people, and then 2 of them are violent criminals and the other 100 were wrongly detained or arrested. That's where lawsuits come in. There's a lot of lawsuits, hundreds of them. And all these people are going to win. Like in Charlotte, arresting U.S. citizens because they happen to be of Latino descent. Chicago, 600 Latinos arrested. 16 had criminal records. The other 584 did not. Where did ICE and the feds come up with 5,000 illegals in Metro New Orleans and southern Mississippi? Where our goal is 5,000 arrests. You can hit that goal. Liz Murrell, New Orleans has seen a high number of violent crimes committed by illegals. Really? Name them. Name them. It's not a high number. There's not a high number of crimes committed by illegals, much less violent crimes. Am I talking nonsense? Is all this, am I wrong? 766-9480. Dial me up. That's what's great about live radio, live television. Can't change it, can't alter it, can't edit it out. I'm not going to hang up on you. I'm not going to, disconnect you. Not going to screen the call. If I'm wrong, let the public know, the listening viewing audience. Straighten me out. Put the truth out there. 766-9480. 766-9480. Wednesday night. Good night to go to Gallagher's 527 in Mandeville, middle of the week. They get crowded on Friday and Saturday night. You usually have to call in. I would recommend calling in if you want to go on a Friday or Saturday night to Gallagher's 527. I was there last Thursday night. Friend of mine went over there, had a great meal. We came from the South Shore. We both live on the South Shore. Picked her up in Uptown. In 35 minutes, we were at Gallagher's 527. I picked her up in Uptown New Orleans. In 35 short minutes, we're at the front door of Gallagher's in Mandeville because there's no driving on the North Shore. Cross the lake, right there on the right, Gallagher's 527. One of the finest dining experiences in Metro New Orleans. If you live on the South Shore, you love to dine out, you got to get to Gallagher's 527 in Mandeville. Get there tonight for dinner. You'll be glad you did. Gallagher's 527 restaurant in Mandeville.
Total maintenance keeps you cool. Total maintenance keeps you cool. Total maintenance keeps you cool. TM-AC.com, your cool spots. Total maintenance keeps you cool. TM-AC.com, your cool spots.
Word is, one of the best restaurants in New Orleans isn't even in New Orleans. Gallagher's 527 in Mandeville. Cross the lake and taste what you're missing. Tuesday through Saturday. Gallagher's 527 in Mandeville.
Here at the NOLA Coalition, we love our kids and we love our city. The people of New Orleans are standing together for a better future. By harnessing our collective resources, the NOLA Coalition will create a safer, more prosperous city for all residents. Your support is needed to help reduce violence, invest in our children, and drive generational change. Join now at nolacoalition.info.
Francesca Deli and Pizzeria has over 15 specialty sandwiches, a big 10-ounce burger, and some of the best pizza in New Orleans. Francesca Deli and Pizzeria on Harrison Avenue in Lakeview between Canal Boulevard and West End.
Young's Dry Cleaning, with 2 walk-up locations with personal service. Young's on Claiborne and Young's on Harrison Avenue in Lakeview. Young's Dry Cleaning. Call 288-8381 or online at youngsdrycleaning.com. There's a Middle Eastern restaurant that's less than 5 minutes from where Causeway and River Road meet. Lebanon's Cafe. Convenient to Old Metairie and Old Jefferson. Carrollton at Jeanette on the streetcar line. Lebanon's Cafe. Artificial turf custom golf putting greens. Beautiful, functional, zero maintenance. Call New Orleans' own LGD Lawn and Landscapes and get your free estimate. Trey Yen in Mandeville, a New Orleans tradition for over 40 years, serving the finest Louisiana-inspired Chinese cuisine. Open Tuesday through Sunday. Trey Yen.
For game-changing innovation, look to the Latrim family of companies located in Harahan. Intralox, a Latrim company, changed the game when they invented modular plastic conveyor belts over 40 years ago. These belts and innovative Intralox technology are transforming movement in manufacturing facilities around the world. Intralox is a dynamic global company now hiring in production, warehousing, shipping, and more. If you want to be part of our successful team, visit latrim.com. That's LAITRAM.com.
Scott Craig of Katie's Restaurant.
All of my ingredients are fresh. Nothing comes out of a can here. Nothing. All of our seafood is Louisiana. All of our vegetables are Louisiana vegetables. It's a neighborhood restaurant.
Katie's in Mid-City. The vibe of the Crescent City, Corey Johnson.
Fat, drunk, and stupid is no way to go through life, sir.
In Metro New Orleans on 93.9 FM and 107.9 FM. Also from Baton Rouge to Pensacola, Florida on 600 AM and 1560.
Yeah, you right. Corey Johnson back at you on a Wednesday afternoon. Thanks so much for joining us. Boy, a local story that's really not getting enough traction. The Tulane Green Wave football team. Not LSU, 80 miles upriver. They're struggling. They fired their coach. Expectations, not hope. Expectations were a playoff this year. Like, has to happen. It didn't. Meanwhile, on Willow Street in Uptown, John Sumrall and the Tulane Green Wave football team, they're 8-2. 8 wins, 2 losses. And they're just starting to really play well. That's the crazy thing. And John Sumrall said it best. 5 returning starters, dozens and dozens of transfer portal players and recruiting class players coming in and playing. So it's the new era of college football. You have to be able to coach these players that have spent very little time together and mesh them together as a family, as a team. And John Sumrall and Tulane football have done exactly that. The Wave controls its own playoff destiny fully. They're a top 25 team in America. In the AP poll, they're 24th. In the college poll, the USA Today coaches poll, they're 25th. If the 12-team NCAA football playoffs were to start today, Tulane would be at Texas Tech. And that story is not being discussed enough. Mario Brothers, a.k.a. Latinx, is at the controls. Mario Brothers, 8-2, top 25 team, controls its own playoff destiny, have one of the hottest coaches in America that's coveted. Reports are Florida had set up an interview with John Sumrall for tomorrow and then canceled the interview. Conflicting reports that maybe it was, to get Kiffin moving. Like, we're moving on from Kiffin. We're going to go interview other folks. Regardless, a lot of positives with Tulane Green Wave football, the top 25 team in Louisiana.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like, all the stuff with Summerall, you can't control. He's at least publicly doing the right things. I feel like he's not doing whatever Lane Kiffin is doing right now. But what you just said is the key. They control their own destiny. They have 2 games. If they win those, they're in the American Championship. If they win that, they play for a freaking national championship. They're in the college football playoff. Like, that's the ultimate. And
it is.
For Tulane fans freaking out about that, I'll remind you that Coach Summerall took over for Coach Fritz, who did a good job. So
Houston's 25th in the country. Houston's 8-2. Willie Fritz's Houston team.
There you go. And I'm sure Summerall would be really good at his next stop too. But the point is that it's a little bit of Tulane. It's not just these coaches that they're hiring. The program is in a really good spot right now. And this is their second coach that they've had success with. And they're building on the success.
Yep.
I mean, they won the Cotton Bowl against USC, which is great. But in my opinion, playing for a championship when, like you said, the school down the road that's supposed to do that kind of stuff is a lot further away than you, is the ultimate for Tulane football.
A playoff biggest football game in the history of Tulane football.
Yes.
I mean, you got to go back to like Benny Bierman 1935 Rose Bowl or something. I mean, as big as it gets, bigger than the 12-0 season. It'd be a bigger game than the USC Cotton Bowl game.
Yep.
This is a playoff game. If they win it and move on, I mean, it's pinch yourself. You can't believe it. I mean, it's unbelievable, especially when you think where Tulane was 5, 8, 10 years ago for decades.
Exactly. And that's the whole point of college football. It's not to get the biggest NIL bag. It's not to get the Heisman Trophy winner, like LSU tried to point out to defend the coach that they just fired so much, but it's to play for a championship. And if they get in the college football playoff, you're quite literally doing that. So Tulane fans have a lot to be proud of, and independent of what happens with John Summerall, I think they have a very bright future to look forward to.
766-9480 is the phone number. 766-9480. Hey, Green Wave fans, I know it's tough. You have a ridiculously successful coach in John Sumrall that's coveted, worried about losing him last year, turned down some Power 4 jobs, very concerned about losing him this year. Does Stoops check out at Kentucky? Was that job opening up? Auburn's open. He's been mentioned there. Interviewing with Florida, then canceled, mentioned there. It's a catch-22. If you don't have a viable program and you don't have a viable coach, no one's knocking on the door. The fact that he's coveted and he's the hottest young coach in America, one of the hottest young coaches in America, that teams want him, that means Tulane's having football success. I remember Jim Mora, Jim Finks, and the Saints back in the mid-late 80s. You know, during the previous 20 years of the Saints organization, they would cut a player and that player would be bartending the next week. You know, a coach would be let go and would go to a lesser position with another team. Then Jim Finks and Jim Mora come in. They start cutting players. Other teams start picking up those players. Coaches are getting hired away, becoming head coaches and coordinators with other NFL teams. Now, that's success. You want that problem. You want other schools setting up interviews with your head football coach if you're Tulane, because that means you're having success. So, yeah, it's painful, but it's a great catch-22 to be involved with because it means the football program is succeeding. No one's knocking on the door. No one wants your coach. No one's trying to get your players through the transfer portal. That means you're the old Tulane. You're winning 1, 2, 3 games a year. You're not a contender. You don't have a viable program. You're not a competitor. You're not a winner. This is the new Tulane. Top 25, on the cusp of going to the college football playoffs if they win out. You got a great coach. You got a winning team, top 25. No, it's fantastic. It's a different era in Tulane football. And you want that uncomfortable situation. You want players, coveted by other teams. You want other teams coming after your coach. That equals success. Corey Johnson with you on a wide open Wednesday. Yeah, you're right. The Wave controls its own playoff destiny. If the playoffs started right now, they'd be at Texas Tech. You know what you got to love about John Summerall too, Mario Brothers, a.k.a. Latinx? Temple's 5-5. They got like a 1-point loss to Navy. They got like a 1-point loss to Army. John Summerall mentions that. They're like 3-3 in conference. He's like, they could be 5-1 in conference right now. Instead of 5-5, they'd be 7-3. They're good. If we're not ready, we will be beat. And he's right. Temple's not a great team, but Temple's not a crappy or bad team. They've got viable college football players, and if Tulane goes in thinking they can just win, they will lose to Temple. And that's what you got to love about John Summerall, that Nick Saban-esque, one game at a time, focus on the next thing, don't look ahead, rat poison, rat trap, all that stuff he posts on social media.
Yeah, 100%. And the great coaches, Saban, Summerall. I heard Mike Elko, the Texas A&M head coach, say this to his team before the game. They came back to win. They were down 30-3, by the way, if you didn't see. But the reason why college football gets so crazy at the end of the year is because the really good teams, they could say that they're focused. They could say that they're taking every opponent seriously. But I think human nature just kind of kicks in.
Of course.
And that's why these coaches are so paranoid and so afraid of the complacency, because they see that happen every year. And that's what Tulane's trying to avoid. If they're able to do that, they can be playing for a championship.
Sadly, we only look at it when they fail, like LSU's 2019 team. We don't sit there and go, wow, they beat everyone and they could have had a setback, but they never let that happen. They never bought into the rat poison or the rat trap. We only think about they won and they're the greatest team ever.
Yep.
But it's like, man, they're 7-0. 8-0. I mean, the pressure's just building. 9-0, 10-0, 11. Pressure's building. Could have a setback. And then they're playing, Western Kentucky or Middle Tennessee State or something, or an SEC team that's struggling, and you could overlook them. Never did. Just hammer down, accelerator, fully, engaged, nonstop.
And most college football fans of good teams have experienced that. West Virginia in 2007, all they had to do to make the championship was beat a 4-7 Pitt team.
Yep.
They lose.
Yep.
Of course, LSU with 2 losses, back when it was 2 teams, BCS system, wins the national championship with the 2-loss team.
And go back to Saban's first one.
Yes.
I think it was Notre Dame at Hawaii.
Yes.
And Hawaii upsets Notre Dame, and that gave LSU enough points to slip one slot ahead to number 2 and play for the national title against Oklahoma.
Exactly. And going back to that
Notre Dame beats Hawaii like they were supposed to. Oklahoma plays whoever was second at the time, not LSU for the national title.
Exactly. And
Came
LSU
down to that one game.
LSU benefited off of that, but they almost lost it all because of a result just like that when they played Arkansas in 2007. Arkansas came in 4-7. LSU was going to the SEC championship already, getting ready to play for the title, and they lost. And they're lucky that all those losses happened. You could argue, that's the luckiest national championship in history, but that happens every single season in college football.
20 years ago, Mario, I'll never forget it. I'm at my hotel room in Atlanta. It's like 12:31 in the morning, literally. I had the window open. I'm staring out at the skyline. I'm on the phone talking to people. And who was the guy from ESPN who was like the playoff expert guy? You know,
Playoff expert.
he like would predict who was going to be in the championship game and all that. Not the playoff expert, but pre-playoff, but who would be in the BCS championship game.
Yeah, like the bracket guy.
The bracket guy. I forgot his
about.
name.
Yeah.
You say bracket guy, his name's like on the tip of my tongue.
Yeah.
But I remember like late night, you know, it was Notre Dame going to Hawaii and Hawaii with the upset, him saying, I think, you know, LSU will pass whoever was 2 and go into the second spot, play Oklahoma for the national championship. And I was like doing the math and looking, I'm like, man, this might be right. And I'm calling friends, and then it happened. It was just an incredible experience.
And while we're
pretty cool.
Not to divert, but while we're on the conversation, that's kind of what I hate about the new playoff system. Like the unique thing about college football for the longest time was how important the regular season was. And look at last year. I'll use Ohio State from 2024 as a perfect example. They lose to Michigan in the last game. And in the old system, even if it was like a 4 or 8 playoff, they would have been done. That would have been it. But it pretty much didn't matter. They go on to win the ring anyway. And it's cool because the game is actually decided on the field, not by computers. But at the same time, it kind of dilutes the regular season. And college football used to have the best regular season.
But then you get the flip side of that. Like the SEC could land 5 teams in this 12-team playoff potential.
Yeah, but
as many as 5. Like Vandy could slip in there.
Exactly. And I hope Vandy does. But
I hope
Alabama doesn't drop up against Auburn. And they're 9-3. And just because they're Alabama, even though they have 2 horrible losses, they get in. Over a team.
You're right. No, over Vandy, who they beat.
Yeah, it's just very, very subjective. It's probably what's better for the sport, but at the same time, I miss the craziness.
Oh, no, you're right. You're right. Yeah. That's Mario Brothers, a.k.a. Latinx, our in-house sports expert. Corey Johnson with you. Every day, this show on radio, on television, on YouTube, on X. And after the fact, you can go to Spotify and check out the podcast at 6, or go to X or YouTube and check out the show after the fact. Plus, we have little cuts from the show every day posted on Instagram, on YouTube, on TikTok, on X, on Facebook. So check us out there, Corey Johnson, the Neutral Ground, on all your favorite social media sites. It's always brought to you by the Lamarck Automotive Complex in Kenner and Lamarck Crescent City Ford in Elmwood, your commercial truck, van, SUV dealership. Ronnie Lamarck from Araby Park, doing you right.
For game-changing innovation, look to the Latrim family of companies located in Harahan. Intralox, a Latrim company, changed the game when they invented modular plastic conveyor belts over 40 years ago. These belts and innovative Intralox technology are transforming movement in manufacturing facilities around the world. Intralox is a dynamic global company now hiring in production, warehousing, shipping, and more. If you want to be part of our successful team, visit Latrim.com. That's LAITRAM.com.
There's a Middle Eastern restaurant that's less than 5 minutes from where Causeway and River Road meet, Lebanon's Cafe. Convenient to Old Metairie and Old Jefferson. Carrollton at Jeanette on the streetcar line, Lebanon's Cafe.
Dave Miette Insurance Agency. Auto, home, flood, business. 504-556-0809. Dave Miette, INSagency.com. Dave Miette Insurance Agency. Auto, home, flood, business. 504-556-0809. Dave Miette, INSagency.com.
Why wear the same old glasses that everyone else is wearing? Stand out from the crowd. Come to Art and Eyes. Art and Eyes is not your typical eyeglasses store. It's one of the finest eyewear shops in the country, right here in New Orleans, with precision-engineered prescription lenses and gorgeous high-quality frames from the heart of Europe, Japan, and the United States. Our products are thoughtfully curated, and our staff are here to help you find exactly the right frames. Art and Eyes on Magazine, as unique as you.
Trey Yen in Mandeville, a New Orleans tradition for over 40 years, serving the finest Louisiana-inspired Chinese cuisine. Open Tuesday through Sunday. Trey Yen.
In New Orleans, we don't eat to live, we live to eat.
More is better.
Scott Craig of Katie's.
That is our slogan. More is better at Katie's. It means more of everything. Not just more food, more smiles, more friendship, more love, more. When you do something, you have to do it right. You know, it's all about more, and it's all more of the good things.
Get more at Katie's Restaurant in Mid-City.
Ladies and gentlemen, in this Lamarck Automotive Complex is something called Quick Lane. Tires, wheel alignments, struts, servicing your transmission. We do in all makes and models. It doesn't have to have been purchased from us. It's for you. It handles your lifestyle with your budget in mind. And we want to get you in and out as quick as possible. Quick Lane, you got to come see it. You're going to love the experience. Right there at Williams Boulevard in Kenner.
South Shore residents that love good food are making the short trip across the lake to Gallagher's 527 in Mandeville. North Shore folks have known about Gallagher's 527 for years. Now the South Shore has discovered this hidden gem. One of the metro area's best restaurants is less than 30 minutes away. Take the quick trip across the lake and experience Gallagher's 527 in Mandeville. As good as it gets.
As New Orleans as coffee in the morning and as New Orleans as coffee in the morning and raw oysters for lunch. It's Corey Johnson on the neutral ground.
I am the envy of many of my friends that play golf because LGD Lawn and Landscapes installed a putting and chipping green in my backyard. It's absolutely unbelievable. I looked out the window last night. I woke up in the middle of the night and I went and let Tolly out and looked out the window from my bedroom and saw the green. I just sort of smiled to myself. It's absolutely incredible. If you want an artificial putting and chipping green in your backyard, or you'd like to just install artificial or synthetic turf in your backyard, especially you folks that have a pool in the backyard. No more puddles, no more tracking mud and dirt in the house. You have a dog, cat. LGD Lawn and Landscapes will take care of you. NOLALGD.com. Go to their website right now. You'll be blown away by the installations. NOLALGD.com. No, I love my artificial green and chipping area. It's unbelievable. Go check them out online. Let's head to the phone lines. 766-9480. 766-9480. Jordan joins us in Metairie, a.k.a. New Orleans West, home of traffic. Lots and lots of traffic. What up, Jordan?
What's going on, man? I want to follow up on the Tulane, specifically the John Sumrall talk.
Yep.
A lot of people, they don't think Sumrall is qualified maybe or, to be the next LSU coach because they want the big name hire. But I'm starting to come around on Sumrall potentially being LSU's next head coach. I mean, he's got a swagger about him. Doesn't take any, any stuff. He defends the city, instills toughness in his players, motivates them. I think LSU could use a lot of that right about now. And I tell you what, he reminds me a little bit of Nick Saban before he came down to Baton Rouge. So I'm curious to get you and Mario Brothers' thoughts. Thanks for taking the call.
Jordan, thank you so much in Metairie. Mario, brother, that might be a clip right there. I swear he nailed it. Swagger. Jordan's right on the money. John Sumrall has swagger. He defends the city of New Orleans. Don't mess with New Orleans. We wanted to wear the white unis to, represent the 20 years ago Katrina, and Northwestern didn't let us, and then he goes and beats that team, just it's so true. Toughness in players, that LSU needs that desperately. Yep. And then Saban-esque. I've said that before. I totally agree. I posted that earlier in the week on Twitter about this guy's like a Saban clone. So the swagger, defends the city, toughness in players, Saban-esque. I think Jordan Metairie nails it.
Agreed. I think LSU definitely needs to kind of get back to the basics there. And when you have a head coach, we saw this with Willie Green and with Dennis Allen, I feel like you had to have at least some edge to you, show some emotion. And Brian Kelly did, but only when things went bad, it seemed like.
Yeah.
I never saw him pump, hit a player in the chest, get excited.
Nope.
I never saw him get hyped up at all. Sumrall has a lot of that. He's not afraid to chew a guy out.
No.
If you hold you accountable. But
he did it on post game, my quarterback needs to quit fumbling the ball. QB's right there.
Exactly.
Retzloff's right there.
Yeah.
And then he grabs and goes, my boy, but he heard him. He knew what he said. He's going to watch it on social media.
Exactly.
Sumrall knows what he's doing.
And he's different than Willie Fritz in that way, but that's why it seems Tulane fans kind of like him better because he has that personality, and LSU definitely needs to get back to that.
20 plus years younger than Willie Fritz. LSU could hire Willie Fritz and he'd be successful. This guy's a winner.
Yeah.
Won at Tulane. Houston was horrible. The first year they were under 500. Now they're 8-2 and they're 25th ranked. Willie Fritz knows how to win.
Yeah, see, he's a program builder.
He is, but he's 60-something years old.
Exactly. And Summerall
Kiffin's 50, Summerall's 42.
Exactly. Summerall built Troy up really nice for sure. But
Yep.
Tulane was already somewhat established. So if they lose Summerall, they should have faith that they could replace him because they replaced Fritz with Summerall.
Well, also it shows you Summerall can build a program from nothing and come into a program that's got momentum and keep it going or take it up to another level.
Yeah, and I agree with everything Jordan said, but if you want my honest opinion, I still think LSU would turn their nose up and be like, we're not going to
Shame on them.
Yeah.
Shame on them. If it has something to do with what Tulane,
exactly.
That's pathetic.
Yeah.
That's pathetic. Shame on LSU. Screw LSU if that's their approach.
Agreed. And that's exactly, I know it didn't go well for Napier at Florida, but that's what they did with him.
Yep. No, you're right. No, they weren't even going to consider ULL. And you don't mean to go, I don't need to go backwards, but LSU president's job, bring in McNeese State's president, no problem. But you no way you can do that in football. No way you can do that in football.
Yeah, that's backwards thinking. LSU.
It is backwards thinking. Like the ULL coach can't be our coach, and the Tulane coach is not good enough to be our coach. That's pathetic because of the program, not the coach. Pathetic.
Yeah, LSU's brain is just in a really bad spot right now. When you let Coach O go, you had all the natural attrition. You know, you're going to have a lot of guys hit the transfer portal, but LSU still had a lot of momentum. They had just won the national championship a couple years ago. NIL was thriving. They have very little momentum right now.
No, you're right.
The brand power is bad, and on the field, you've been passed up by Vanderbilt. You're simping for Ole Miss's head coach, which makes me a little bit uncomfortable, honestly. And
that's a great point, Mario.
Yeah, and Texas.
Say that again.
Yeah, it makes me a little bit uncomfortable.
But the point you made, you're what?
We're lusting over Ole Miss's coach.
It's great. Would you say simping?
Yeah, simping. That's how the kids say lusting.
Yeah, that's great.
But
it's right on the money.
Like objectively.
For Ole Miss's coach.
Yeah.
But you're not going to get the Tulane coach? But the Ole Miss coach is your guy?
Exactly.
That's unbelievable. That's a great point, Mario.
It's just their heads are so.
No, their heads are so far up their ass. That's the problem. And it's political. And it's, I saw Jeff Landry and the your boy who owns the Wow Wingery is a nice guy.
Mm-hmm.
I'm forgetting their name. Ballard. He's the president of the commission.
Ernie Ballard, yeah.
And they're yucking it up. I'm just like, I like Ballard, but he's just a yes man to the governor. He's not an independent thinker who's going to do the best for LSU. He's what's the governor want. That's all he is, and that's all that board is. It's a joke. LSU is political crap. It's a nightmare. It's Louisiana politics at its worst, and LSU fans don't really have a problem with it. It's unbelievable.
Yeah, it's not good. They backed into Coach O, and he had success, but they had a kind of a foundation established with Les Miles.
Oh yeah, no doubt.
They don't have that after Brian Kelly.
No, you're right. You're right. But to not go after John Summerall would be insane. Yeah. Lane Kiffin's the obvious choice because he's had tremendous success, but I don't think John Summerall is like this distant second or someone you don't interview. If I'm LSU, I'm an LSU grad. I love the program just like you, Mario. We're no different. LSU graduates, it's our school, and we bleed purple and gold and love the program. John Summerall would be an excellent choice. Would be an excellent choice. 42 years old. He'd be with the program for 20 friggin' years. He'd be a legend.
Yeah. And he might have to build it up. He might have to be okay with like some 7-5, 8-4 seasons to start. But I have a lot of confidence that eventually he would get LSU to where it needs to be.
If you're a Tulane fan and you hear LSU wouldn't go after Summerall because he's Tulane, and I'm an LSU graduate and I'm a Tulane fan, I hope John Summerall stays at Tulane. If that's LSU's attitude, like they wouldn't even interview him, screw LSU. That's just stupid.
Well, Tulane's ahead of LSU right now. That's objectively
exactly.
True.
Tulane's a top 25 team. LSU's not.
Last year was considered somewhat of a failure for Tulane football, but it was a better season than LSU had.
Last year, exactly.
And this year, LSU fired their coach. They're the laughingstock of college football. Tulane might play for a championship.
Tulane controls their playoff destiny. Yeah. It's unbelievable. If Tulane wins out, they're national champions. If Tulane finishes the season 2-0, and goes into the championship game and wins that, they're in the playoff. It's mind-blowing.
To me, making the playoff is such a big accomplishment. Like when countries that don't make the World Cup finally do, the fans see their flag there.
Oh, yeah, they go crazy.
And just being there, just getting the chance to play for that trophy is just an honor.
I'd love to watch Tulane in the playoffs. I'd love to watch Tulane win a playoff game.
Let's be real. Given the history of the program, they've been awful for the longest time.
Forever.
And now they're where they are while LSU is where it is.
It's amazing.
It really
is. It's a flip-flop.
Yeah, it's crazy, man.
No, not to keep giving Jordan props, but the swagger comment, defending the city, toughness in players, Saban-esque, Those are 4 excellent qualities in a coach.
100%. I mean, he worked for Saban. Like, I would think that would expel all the Tulane stuff, right?
Yeah,
Like,
I love your comments. Simping for the Ole Miss coach. So true.
So gross.
There's something not good about that. There's something that it's beneath LSU in a way. So true. Well, unless you're just like, you're not interested or we're not gaining momentum, let's move on. But maybe he is interested and they are gaining momentum.
And all the same fans called me stupid on my radio show last year when I said I'd prefer Kiffin over Kelly. But hey, that's how it goes.
Yeah, no, exactly. Of course. No, fans are flaky too. They'll be saying I love Kiffin over Kelly now.
Yeah, a year ago
you're saying the exact opposite.
think-
And Mario is a fool. Now you want to go to a party with him.
November 19, 2024. You think any LSU fan is clamoring for Kiffin? Hell no.
Reportedly, Florida had an interview set up in Gainesville for John Sumrall for tomorrow, and they canceled that interview. I shouldn't say in Gainesville. Florida people were planning to come to New Orleans. I have no idea where the interview was going to take place. But reportedly, like multiple sources, Florida contacted John Sumrall, had an interview set up for tomorrow, Thursday, and they canceled it. Some of those folks, the reporters with their opinions, are saying it was to motivate Kiffin, like, we're going in another direction now. And then Sexton and his agent in Memphis and Lane Kiffin are like, whoa, don't go interview Sumrall. We'll talk to you. So we'll see where that's going. Corey Johnson with you on a wide open Wednesday. No, I love John Sumrall. If you're a New Orleanian, I mean, on Twitter, he posts photos of things in Audubon Park on his morning jog. You want to meet John Sumrall? Go to Audubon Park tomorrow morning, like 5:30, 5:45. He'll be running in the park. No, he snaps photos of like the fountains and oak trees and just stuff like a photographer would take. He just has a love for the Uptown New Orleans campus. He has a love for Uptown New Orleans. He has a love for the city. John Sumrall is a winner. No, and I think the story's like underappreciated locally. Not with the hardcore Tulane fans. They know what they got. I just mean the community. Top 25 team, a coach that's coveted all around the country. They control their own playoff destiny. 8-2. That's just an impressive record. Corey Johnson with you. Hey, Mario, the Saints might play a regular season game in Paris. That's a good distraction for the Saints.
Yeah, I'm ready, man. Hell yeah. Let's go to Paris.
Yeah, I'd like to go to Paris and check out the Saints.
We would definitely make that trip with the Spanish broadcast. So
nice. That'd be good. I'd like to see you go, Mario. That'd be excellent.
It's cool, man. I know a lot of people are complaining about the international games, but I like the NFL at least making an effort to be global. You know?
Oh, they'll eventually be a team, I think, in the NFL before we die in Mexico City. And it'll be insane. It'll be worth $10 billion. They'll fill that stadium with 100,000 folks.
Oh, yeah.
It'll be crazy. And I think you'll see a team in London. And you might see a team like in Canada. And you might see a team in Germany. I would not doubt any of that. Because, you know, NBA too. I had Commissioner Stern on this program a decade, 15 years ago. And you're really going to go to the NBA in Europe? He's like, Corey, it's a 6-hour flight. How long does it take to go from New York to LA? Like 5-6 hours. Goes exactly. So they're definitely looking at those international markets. That'll be cool to see. We're coming right back.
For game-changing innovation, look to the Latrim family of companies located in Harahan. Intralox, a Latrim company, changed the game when they invented modular plastic conveyor belts over 40 years ago. These belts and innovative Intralox technology are transforming movement in manufacturing facilities around the world. Intralox is a dynamic global company now hiring in production, warehousing, shipping, and more. If you want to be part of our successful team, visit Latrim.com. That's LAITRAM.com.
Scott Craig of Katie's Restaurant.
All of my ingredients are fresh. Nothing comes out of a can here. Nothing. All of our seafood is Louisiana. All of our vegetables are Louisiana vegetables. It's a neighborhood restaurant.
Katie's in Mid-City.
Tired of cleaning your gutters? Improve the value and look of your home with Leaf Guard gutters. And you'll never have to clean your gutters again. Ever. I guarantee it. Let Audubon Gutters install Leaf Guard gutters today. You'll improve the look and value of your home. And right now is the perfect time during Audubon Gutters' 99-cent installation sale. Call 469-6494 now. Get out of that gutter and get on the phone. At Audubon Gutters.
Word is, one of the best restaurants in New Orleans isn't even in New Orleans. Gallagher's 527 in Mandeville. Cross the lake and taste what you're missing. Tuesday through Saturday, Gallagher's 527 in Mandeville.
Why wear the same old glasses that everyone else is wearing? Stand out from the crowd. Come to Art and Eyes. Art and Eyes is not your typical eyeglasses store. It's one of the finest eyewear shops in the country, right here in New Orleans, with precision-engineered prescription lenses and gorgeous high-quality frames from the heart of Europe, Japan, and the United States. Our products are thoughtfully curated, and our staff are here to help you find exactly the right frames. Art and Eyes on magazine, as unique as you.
Young's Dry Cleaning, with 2 walk-up locations with personal service. Young's on Claiborne and Young's on Harrison Avenue in Lakeview. Young's Dry Cleaning. Call 288-8381 or online at youngsdrycleaning.com.
Trey Yen in Mandeville, a New Orleans tradition for over 40 years, serving the finest Louisiana-inspired Chinese cuisine. Open Tuesday through Sunday. Trey Yen.
Greater New Orleans, a destination for learning. With 13 colleges and universities and a booming job market, Greater New Orleans is the ultimate destination for your higher education. Your path to the future begins in Greater New Orleans. Find out more at studynola.com.
Outdoor dining, Middle Eastern cuisine, under the oak trees, Lebanon's Cafe. Some of the city's finest lamb chops and shish kebab. Carrollton at Jeanette by the streetcar barn, Lebanon's Cafe.
The official afternoon talk show of the city of New Orleans. It's Corey Johnson on the neutral ground.
You can say anything you please about me, but don't say anything bad about Blue Boy.
Down, Blue Boy. Good buddy. You got that right. Never be critical of wonderful Blue Boy. Sweet. Wonderful little doggy. That was Kermit Ruffins. What's his? It's the Mother-in-Law Lounge. That's his joint. 766-9480. I'll tell you a great Kermit Ruffin story. I'm at on Audubon Place, okay? Like Audubon Place in a multi-million-dollar house, probably like an $8 million house. It was a wedding party. And it's, uptown, Audubon Place. 99% of the people in there, just white, blue blood uptown folks. Kermit Ruffin's performing. He goes in the bathroom downstairs in the house. I'm waiting to go in the bathroom, and all of a sudden I'm just like, it reeks of some just strong weed, just like knew it was weed. And I'm in this uptown house, like, and then Kermit comes out of the bathroom. It looked like Spicoli from Fast Times at Ridgemont High exiting the van, where all the smoke comes out of the van. He like just falls out of it stoned. I'm like, wow, Kermit Ruffin just not going outside, not hiding behind a bush, not walking away from the house, in the bathroom, I guess lighting up a pipe or a joint or something, but just reeking up the house. I was like, wow. I remember going to New York, Mario. I don't care what you do. You can eat lead paint chips.
Yeah.
I'm in New York in Manhattan and just smelled weed all over the place. I was just like, I have no problem. You want to smoke weed? That's great. But I don't know why you have to smoke it like publicly. There are children around, their grandparents
Do you
around.
consider that public though? Like rich people party? Like,
well, I mean, just like if
it's a party.
I'm not dogging.
after all.
No, you're right. And I'm not. Kermit Ruffins is a cool guy. I don't give a what he does, and he doesn't care. Obviously,
Yeah.
Not breaking any law. Really, I mean, it's could be medical. He might have the medical card.
Exactly.
But just like I would have just gone outside, gone down the street. These people hired me. I wouldn't go in their bathroom and smoke. But
Yeah.
I think Kermit's just like, dude, that's what I do. I don't hide it. He's like
Yeah.
Snoop Dogg. He's
Yeah.
like, I don't.
Exactly.
I'm a weed guy.
And honestly, he shouldn't have to. Like
No,
they
you're-
hired him to do that. That's part of kind of his thing.
You're right.
The people's kids are probably trying to get a hit from him, if we're being real.
Oh, boy.
Like
So that's the problem. That could be the problem.
like the people attending the party are probably like, well, I never. It smells. Oh my goodness. But their kids are probably like, oh my God, there's
Honey, give me a gummy.
yeah. Like
Now, I love all these like anti-weed folks from 20, 30 years ago. Now they're vaping and I've never vaped in my life or done a gummy or edible in my life.
yeah.
and they're like on edibles and vaping and gummies. I'm just like, really? You were like the biggest anti-weed person on planet Earth. Now you're the highest person on planet Earth.
I think it's a very similar etiquette to when you had your little rant about the cigarette smokers and how they just throw the butt because they think it's not a big deal. Like, just have some courtesy.
No,
you know?
exactly.
Like you
So
said,
little respect.
there could be some kids like pick up your cigar guts because people dump out the contents of the cigar and then put weed in it. So a lot of times you see cigar guts like
Oh, that's
everywhere.
what's called cigar guts.
Yes, cigar guts.
Oh, because they want the they sell the tube though, right? What's
Yeah,
a blunt tube, I think it's called.
Yes.
I've seen it like at the store.
Yes,
It's
if-
like a cigar with the cigar guts
if
already
you're
out.
Yeah, if you're lazy, but it's considered like better quality, I guess. If you,
Why would you want to put weed in a cigar sleeve?
I don't know. That's
Don't they have
just
rolling papers? You just roll it up yourself.
These people just prefer the gars. I don't know. Maybe the
The what?
remnants.
The gars?
Yeah, the gar. Like people.
It's called a gar.
Yeah, gar, like short for cigar.
Oh, cigar.
Yes.
Cigar.
I guess they like the little hint of the nicotine. Maybe it gives it a little kick.
Yeah. No, I got you.
But that's the common thing, and that's something I don't like about weed smokers. You know, similar to cigarette smokers. It's okay that you do it, but just have a little bit
Courtesy for everybody else.
Yeah, exactly.
I remember when I was at De La Salle and like in college, there was talk of this thing called Clickum in New Orleans, and it's a joint dipped in formaldehyde, like the way you embalm someone.
Yeah.
I'm like, my God. I was telling somebody, I think you could accelerate the car in neutral and put your mouth up against the exhaust pipe and breathe in those fumes, and it would mess your brain up, you know?
Yeah.
Dip it in embalming fluid. Like, people are just crazy.
Yeah, drugs are
That
dangerous.
might be a problem. I don't think rolling your joints in Drano is a good thing. I mean, I don't know. People are crazy, man.
They really are, especially these days.
Embalming fluid. Clickum. It was called a Clickum.
Interesting.
I don't know if it's interesting, Mario. It's kind of crazy. You know, it's interesting. Outdoor dining in this weather at Katie's. Katie's is on the corner of Iberville and Telemachus. They have tables running around the building on each side, down Telemachus and down the Iberville side of the building. And now Katie's has a courtyard inside the building, a wonderful outdoor courtyard with a 90-plus inch flat screen TV out there. More is better, more of the good things. The quintessential New Orleans neighborhood joint. It's Katie's in Mid-City. Get there tonight for dinner and dine outside on the street or in the courtyard inside. Katie's in Mid-City, a Mid-City mainstay. Wide open Wednesday edition of the program. We covered a lot. The 12-year federal oversight of the NOPD is officially over. In the rearview mirror, a federal judge ends the NOPD consent decree. That's fantastic. ICE, Border Patrol, their goal, 250 federal agents coming into Metro New Orleans. Their goal, 5,000 arrests. Good luck. I want a bag of money and first-class airline tickets to Europe and a Porsche 911. Operation Swamp Sweep. There are 50,000 illegals in Louisiana, approximately. 10% of them aren't violent criminals. The FBI says New Orleans has between 300 and 400 violent criminals. If these 250 federal agents that came into town just made a single arrest of a New Orleans violent criminal, crime would dramatically decrease. Like, it would be crazy how much it would decrease. The FBI says there are between 300 and 400 violent criminals in Orleans Parish. Imagine if these 250 federal agents just arrested a single one each. This goal of 5,000, what you're going to have is like Chicago. 600 arrested. 16 had criminal records. The other 584 did not and were released. And some are going to sue. Charlotte, arresting citizens of Latino descent because they just didn't know any better. No, this ready, fire, aim approach on a problem that's not real, that doesn't really exist. I mean, ask yourself this. In New Orleans, do you think it's the local citizens or illegal aliens that are committing the vast amount of violent crime in New Orleans? Like 95+% of violent crime against people in the metro. Do you think those violent criminals are citizens of New Orleans or illegal aliens? It's not even close. We know the answer. It's like 95, 96, 97% local citizens and just a few illegal aliens. No, when Liz Murrow says New Orleans has seen a high number of violent crimes committed by illegals, that is factually incorrect. New Orleans has not seen a high number of violent crimes committed by illegals. New Orleans hasn't seen crime, period, a high crime problem by illegals. This is political nonsense. What's that, Blue Boy? Political crap, not a real problem. You're smart, Blue Boy. Mañana, be here.
You're on the neutral ground with Corey Johnson on TV on Cox Channel 4 and Spectrum Channel 333. Also on YouTube, on radio at NOLA Talk 93.9 FM, WSLA New Orleans.